Good day everybody, and welcome to part 9 of the Seablock. And I didn't do much between this episode and the last episode, except for experimenting around a little bit with new technologies and, well, you know, grinding up materials. So, what did happen between? I did invent the chemical furnaces and steel processing, so I switched a little chemical furnace here onto the oxygen gas pipe here, leading to the flare stacks, which is just enough to keep this guy going to produce a little bit of steel whenever we need it. Because right now I'm way far away from mass producing steel, but having an ability to produce tiny amounts of that is pretty useful. So today will be the day where we expand the generator array by another cluster, and I've did a lot of calculating considering this, and I'm gonna explain a lot about how to put up the energy, according to my opinion at least, in this mod. So this is going to be a lot of the topic for today, and while I'll be setting up the new LJ farm cluster and all this stuff, I'm gonna explain a little bit about the calculations I've made. And yeah, so we're gonna do a little bit of a more math heavy session, I think, but let's see how much time's left after we're done with that. So basically that's that. If you're down for that, let's join and do some more energy. So before we start, I would really appreciate some thumbs up or subscriptions to my channel if you want to support me or my work a little bit more. If none of those, just keep watching. I appreciate that actually the most. So we keep going for a new production array there. One thing I had in mind was to set up the new cluster, then connect it to the existing power plant, and then disconnect this stuff and rearrange it in a tidy and useful way, because right now this stuff is just messy as hell. Like, the outputs here are, I mean, they are working and everything, but I don't like the system right now as it is, and I want to make it a little bit more efficient there. So my friends, now off to the numbers and why we can't just expand this array anymore. I was thinking the other day, I mean, I was putting this calculation up to 9 megawatt, which would be a 5 on 10 recipe, like 5 boilers on 10 steam engines, and the production for that would be 1.2 wood pellets per second, which is something my production complex would actually achieve to manage, and it would be also pretty nicely get to the point where where I'm hitting the maximum capacity for green LJ. But the problem about this is just I'll produce 14.4 green LJ per second and 2.9 brown LJ per second. That exceeds the 15 items per second the yellow belt can transport already, and that's why I don't want to do that. I was thinking a little bit about filtering out the brown bolts right away after they leave the facilities. I think I could do a quirky little logistic network which immediately funnels these out with splitters. And maybe I'll design one of those at some point, but not today. Today I was more focused about the idea to go for an 0.9 setup again, like the one we're using right now. So let's change the numbers real quick so I can explain better. So this is the array as it is right now. So let's go back into it. It's 4 boilers, 8 steam engines. There we go. 0.9 wood pellets per second. Nice. Okay. So here we have the same thing before, and I'm just going again into it to explain you why I think it's good. Here we have a total input of 13 units per second. Yes, the belt could technically transport a little bit more, but the next logical step to take would already overextend the capacity of the belt, so I'll just stick with an inefficient array for now, and I'll do some experimental work in between on one of those 2 clusters to try to optimize it to get another 20% more output. I think it is possible, but I don't want to boggle my mind too hard about this today. So that's the theory crafting for now. I went into this because I'm still missing 4 LJ farms while I was starting to record. They were not there yet, but now we have the bricks for that. So I'm going to change this little fella again to sand. There we go. One thing I really feel about Seablock is it taught me already so much about the game. By limiting my options, I've learned so much more about the game and how to optimize myself well. It's a good challenge if you want to improve your game skills, and honestly, I always considered myself more as a casual Factorio player. But this game, this mod pack really turns my you know, my challenge feeling on. If you get my idea. So I'm still lacking a few of the LJ farms, so we have to wait a little bit longer. And since this is going to be an array with 18 LJ farms connected, I was thinking about a pretty simple solution of going for a easy setup of 9 LJ farms on each side, nothing too fancy there. So, but LJ farms are quite big buggers, so I'll need a lot more ground than I have right now, but that's no problem. We're gonna get the ground while we're building. So what about all the alginic acid here? So I'm gonna pick this stuff up and relocate it to somewhere else where we actually might store it until later, because right now this stuff is just standing in my way. So let's put it somewhere else where it's a little bit less in the way. So maybe here. So there we go. The alginic acid is a very valuable ground substance, and it takes a damn long time to produce it, so I don't want to throw that stuff just away because I don't need it right now. I have a few patches of grass, so that's one thing. I need more inserters as well, so as you can see, it is a very, very handcraft heavy mod pack as well. So I want to determine the width I'll need, so I think I'll build them like this, or yeah, with a water input coming from behind. So these guys I'll just place quite narrow to each other because I don't want to need more soil patches as necessary. You know, I want to use as little space as possible with this. That's how I want to put it. Sometimes while building, the words just slip away. Look at that! It's green! It's real nature. It's wonderful. It's not only sand anymore. Okay. I needed that moment when I finally unboxed the first scraps of grass onto this. So let's wait until we have some daylight on this. Okay. So gonna be dropping down some more. Yeah, I know. I messed it up. I know. So I think this is going to be the easiest way to solve the problem there. And yeah, maybe the positioning is a little bit off, but I would need to dismantle this whole array to change the positioning into a more efficient way. And oh man, if I do that, I might as well turn down my whole factory for a moment there. It's one of the biggest challenges here for me, that you're always having to consider no, differently. In this mod, if you build perfectly from the scratch, you get pretty big rewards for that. So let's fill this up with sand. I don't mind. Oh, it starts replacing that and wasting soil. Oops, don't want that. Okay, So, how many are these now? These are 12. Okay. That's a start. I'm going to need another strip of land to actually connect those buggers with water, but I could... No, I don't need to. I can save those materials and connect them underground. And I was pretty reluctant to use copper piping for quite a while, but I've changed my mind on that topic, because I feel like right now, I mean, it might be that copper is valuable and anything, but right now I have it in abundance and I need pipings, lots of them. So we need to do something about that. Also, I feel like I want to relocate the offshore pump after this whole little episode here, because I feel like the or maybe I'll just give this yeah, I'm just gonna use another offshore pump, a new one, or that's how we're gonna do it. I'm producing lots of inserters up front because I know I'll need terrible amounts of inserters to build up the next assembling machine array, because that's gonna be just horrible, to put it into simple words. So I need also steam engines and boilers, and one day, my friends, one day, believe it or not, we're going to leave handcraft land. So for now, I'll just turn off the inserters because I don't need them immediately right now, and I'll just I think I'll just distract my ore production a little bit and grab up some crushed stones and make them into rocks in between. Yes, I'm that desperate. Let's put the rocks into the hotbar for a sec. I just want to do some bricks in between, so I'll have some more again. Okay, we're getting there. So sadly I don't have enough grass available to get this whole thing green, but whatever. So I'm going for a minimal amount of belt here. You start to be that miserly, you know. I love it. Okay. So no, actually I just want to start with the pipings first. So let's build some copper pipes. Okay. Biggest problem here is just the horrendous amount of soil I need. I mean, sure, I was a little bit generous, safe to say, but I really want to do it like this properly this time. But considering the rate of production right now, it's gonna take a while. I don't like that too much, but I have no chance in doing it otherwise, except for or wait a sec, I do have an option. So these are 12 and these are 18. So if I steal those 8 here, nobody will notice, right? So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna dislodge these. I mean, the plan was always to use this array to feed this array to rearrange this array, and I was just thinking if there was a way to do it more quickly, and I just noticed that I have all the space I need on this side already. I just need to expand this thing a little bit more, and then we have all the stuff we need. I mean, those expansions I did on the other side are definitely not going to be a waste. That's one good thing about this mod. Most of the time you'll use that ground you built somewhere out of some reasons. just sometime later, you know. That's just great. Okay, so that means I can just keep building here. So I wanted to do another offshore pump because I feel like one of the easiest ways I can do all this will be to just have separate water cycles for the production arrays. I mean, the offshore pumps can produce way more water than I need, but it's just a matter of organization to me. Because if I have too many fluid networks on one offshore pump, I start to get confused about what's connected with what, you know. So we're going to do another one of the cost-intense setups, and my cat is tossing down things from the shelf. Okay. But once he started to feel watched, he stopped with what he was doing. So yeah, I can do that. So I don't need to. Wonderful. So these are a little bit motley, but I don't care. So okay. So I'll just use whatever I have. Okay. So this will provide the water input for the LJ farms, and I'll definitely need more of those. And there we go. Right now I just have way more copper available than bricks. Like, I was not able yet to build up a constant brick income for my factory. So, yeah, what? Ah, can't reach. So let's do it like that. I'm going to output that stuff, and then I'm just going to continue over there, and this array will survive the dislodging of a few LJ farms for a second without problems. So we're going to configure the recipes already. So this is now a little bit of a more problematic thing, because I can't switch these buggers on without having an end of the line. Oh, how will I do that? I mean, yeah, I'll just hope that this array will survive with a few LJ farms less for a moment. So there we go. Let's expand that area a little bit. Okay. It's more than I need, but whatever. So in the end, I will funnel this just right into that again. So now we're gonna start ruining everything. 1, 2, 4, 5. Or wait, I don't even need to grab more farms than utmost necessary. I mean, I can just give them just some water from another source, and then these guys can just keep what they're doing, you know. Can safely expend myself when it's time. I mean, right now the piping is standing in my way, but we'll get there in a second. I just wanted to have an opportunity to dislodge these thingies here, and I need to build some more pipe to grounds. I don't have enough of those right now. Also, oh, you see, that's also a way to drain your resources. Why not? I mean, it's for a good cause. Also, more land. Okay, I do have enough assembling machines, but I don't have enough inserters, so after this whole thing here, please start building inserters again. I also don't have enough belts, but that's another day's topic. So I'm going to dismantle all this. Okay. Oh, they're out of power now. How unfortunate. Oh, power poles. Oh, gosh. So... can't really tell, we won't be doing more than the energy array today. So there we go. Power is still running, so I don't need to worry about anything right now. I'll need to get energy to this array as well at some point, but for now I'll just do the following. So we're going to 2, 4, 6, and 7, 8, and 9. So are these 9 now? 2, 4, 6, 8, and 9. Alright. So I'll need more of those here, and we can place them parallel to each other. So this can already live here. Shut down the production a little bit, but this is one of the most less stressful ways to change your factory setup on the fly without disrupting the business too much. I mean, yes, my energy grid is suffering from a certain deficiency of production right now, but it's not the end of the world, like, not at all. Let's connect those with water. And I really want to do something. Yeah, but no. So what I'm gonna do now is I'll do a simple workaround for the water situation there. So I'm gonna pipe some water over to this area, and then I can dislodge this one here because it's not necessary anymore. So now I can put the last LJ farm into that. So then let's copy that bugger, and there we are. That's the completed array. Huzzah! I mean, okay, it's not completed yet, but technically it's completed because I have found the room to set it up finally. Okay, 9 of them on each side, making 18 altogether. Okay, so with this array, I figured I'd transport the brown balls out of the facility right away, and I'll just output. Oh, this is probably the wrong side again. No, I hit the right side this time. Yay! And we're going to output the green balls into this direction. So I haven't figured out yet how to do it on this side. Maybe I'll just leave this space open and build another big clump of land down here, and I don't know yet. We're gonna see. Okay, so now I can feed this whole array into the production process as it is right now, as soon as I have some belts. And then I'm out of iron plates again. Yay! So all the stuff I was building in between the episodes, gone. It's amazing how quickly you're using all the stuff you're building. So between this and the last episode, I also checked out how ore production or more plate production goes in this mod pack, and I've realized that the techniques I'm using are just inferior and primitive. So there are more efficient ways to manufacture your plates. So that's some way to use less facilities to get the same results. So there we are. I'm just measuring it a little bit. Can I do it in a way that it powers both sides? I mean, that would be really awesome, wouldn't it? So let's turn these off again for a sec. So let's check. Does this work? I don't think it does. Like, no. So we're going to need 2 of them every time. Can't change that. I won't even bother struggling here. I just accept that I need terrible amounts of power poles. So there we go. Let's bring up the brown ball brigade. So I'll probably expand this buffer array at some point. So next thing we're gonna do is leading those guys like this, so we're having a nice packed belt. And I have to lead it a little bit differently over here. And then at the end we're having a nice new input line for the green balls. And then I can shut down this facility and relocate everything. Wonderful. So there you have it. I did the setup off camera for the wonky setup, but at least I now recorded a proper setup on camera, so there we go. I try to bring as much of this stuff on camera for you to help you if you're having problems with any of the challenges of the Seablock. So far this is a wonderful challenge for me, and I think I'm just scratching the surface. Like if I go into those recipes up ahead of me, it makes my mind go boom, but that's always like that if you just try to look too far ahead in such complex machineries. The human mind is not made to oversee such complex structures. We're just two stupid monkeys to do that. Let's see. Do I have everything I need to rearrange this thingo? I mean, the easiest way to do it would be certainly just to attach another cluster of land to this whole situation and just forget about and just not bother with fitting a good 9-on-9 array here. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do a patchwork solution for these because I still have 6 LJ farms in my pocket which I want to use, and I still want to put on these new boilers and steam engines. So we're gonna do another quirky solution, to say the least, and let's go, because I don't want to show myself beaten here in the face of the enemy. So the thing here is if I just manage to put in the LJ farms wherever it seems fitting, where they can output, everything will be fine. This will be not optimal in any way to but it's okay. I don't need optimal right now because this facility won't be working on its maximum capacity for a long time anyways, because I will just I'm just about to double my power output, friends, so that's why I don't think I'm gonna have too much trouble here overall with these guys not working too optimal. So now I just slammed them here and there and everywhere, and they'll just output on this belt. And I really don't bother with optimizing anything here anymore. This is just going to be fed with water, with energy, and then we're gonna give it a go. But not right now, because I don't need this facility right now. I mean, there we go. As you can see, it's not producing anything anymore because everything is backed up, so all the production processes are now frozen still. But that was exactly my intention. I didn't want to remove the power, but by just removing the outputs, if you just remove, if you clump up the system, it stops working. Now I found the proper words. And that's just exactly what I want to do. Sadly, these guys don't connect with each other, so I'm going to help them here a little because I feel like this is the way easier solution to get the water flowing here. So I'm going to do something like this, just to give those boyos a little bit easier their water connection, because I don't want to use any pipe to grounds here. That's just oh, haha, wishful thinking. No, doesn't work like that. They don't get their water from that. Dang it. Okay. So but this works. That's at least something. This was now completely unnecessary, but whatever. Yeah. It is messy. I expected messiness when I did something like... When I do something like that, I don't expect good outcomes, but whatever. We have now the capacity of these 18 LJ farms at least connected into one belt of green balls, and that's all I wanted to achieve for now. So next up is expanding my fuel production, because I won't be able to do anything without more wood pellets and stuff like that. So we're just gonna be copying the same production array from before with 5 assemblers here. It's going to be exactly the same thing, just on I mean, wait a sec, can I do it like that? Let's check. So these guys are outputting at a 6.25. If we double that, we're gonna have 13.5. Yeah, so the belt will sustain that output, no problem. Okay. I just need to check that if I don't want to outstress that belt. But generally said, I think it's gonna be better if I give those machines an own belt to output into. I can't just I know how I'm gonna do that. I don't want to mess around with this. When you need such huge amounts of singular items, I really want to make sure that every belt can work optimally. So I don't want to risk any backups from inserters who can't output because the output fields are already used or anything like that. Okay. So we have now 2 boilers and 4 steam engines. I need double that amount, so let's grab up some more iron in there. Well, I don't know if I'll manage to do it in time today, so I'll need more stones, as a matter of fact. That's the problem. Okay. So if stones are the problem, we don't have a problem. There we go, just collecting some crushed rocks, and then we're gonna magically melt them in our inventory back to whole rocks. So all I'll need now are a few iron plates, and I do have those. Wonderful. Now I have everything I need. Good. Okay. The only thing I'm lacking now is a little bit of soil, but this will come while we're working. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shift them a little bit, even a little bit more, because I don't have stronger power poles. Sad, actually sad, but that doesn't matter. Oops. Here we go. So we need more floor. Always more floor. Okay. At this point, I could already research so much more, but I'm not doing it, mostly because I don't know what I should research. I already researched technologies which are just not of any use to me. I tried it out the other day, and I noticed that a lot of these technologies are just so far away from me, and my potentials here don't even need to bother with them. Okay, so we'll need more of everything. You know that. I also learned that I can build wind turbines out of steel. And I don't know who would really want to do that, but if you really want to do that, you can. And maybe you'll see me in 10 episodes crafting wind turbines like a madman. Who knows? I certainly don't. With these buggers, I need 3 fields for the input. So we're going to be dropping down the Royal Inserter Army. It's insane, isn't it? And I need to take care about the interaction between the grass and the sand. They exchange each other. If I fumble around with the controls, they mix and I waste patches of soil. That's not cool at all. Because right now I'm on a tight budget. I need to expand my my generator array as well, and I don't know where I want to do that right now. So, okay. So sand to sand, grass to grass, I guess. So we're gonna do it something like that. I'm gonna minify my pencil just for that. Okay. So now I have 2 fields of output here, and I need 2 inserters each, and slowly starts to turn into a facility. With the nasty necessity of grabbing a few iron plates every now and then, and a few patches of soil. But overall, I do enjoy this, the way how things build up in this challenge here. I could also, if I would manage to get those guys down somewhere else, I would be able to put down the energy somewhere else. Intriguing. Okay. So next up are the manufacturing facilities for that stuff. There we go. So I planned on something like this. I needed one more line of land here. So I'm gonna input the cellulose over here, and I need one thing more. I want to splitter these into each other, so I'll be able to... Oh, it's actually the wrong way. Oh, turns out I need a little bit more space to pull that off correctly, I guess. Okay, so there we go. Now I have the room to pull this off correctly. There we go. And back to grabbing some iron plates. But I guess you can already figure out where this is headed. And these boyos are not getting enough material anymore. What's going wrong there, I wonder? So these are not producing at all. How so? They're not getting any water. They're not getting enough water. I see. Oh, I see what happened there. Okay. I accidentally missed a water connection there. Okay. I'm quite happy that I have the Bottleneck mod, so I can always rely on seeing where the mistake lies. Okay. Oh, that was a little bit scary for a moment. But good thing about this jump scare, I smelted a few more iron plates in between. There we go. So now I should be able to sustain everything quite soon. Yeah, okay. Now everything works out as intended. I'll just toss in a few wood pellets into this generator, so everything works out here too. Okay. So, back to the more belts situation. Okay. So, I'm needing an input of the cellulose fibers. That's why I saved up a few more iron plates for inserters. But, yeah, it'll work out. It'll work out just as intended. Okay. So, tell you what, my friends, I'm gonna finish this array off camera, because as you might already see, there's not much we need to do here anymore. I just need to free up a little space of land to add up my new generators, like somewhere over here, and then I'll just feed the wood pellet line with a new input source from here. So we're having... That's how I'm gonna do it for now. I don't know how I'm gonna do it if I had more space available, like as much space as I want to. There's certainly a more optimal way to solve this problem right now. But for the moment and for the time being, it's gonna work out nicely. So, thank you all for your time and watching. I hope this was, for you guys, as much fun as it was for me, because I certainly love what I'm doing here. And yeah, I hope you check by for the next episode, when I will delve deeper into wasting all that energy that I'm now producing. I don't know, I think I just want to expand into another 10 on 10 electrolyzer block to just finally get some more sand going, to finally get some more ground. I don't know yet. We're gonna see. So, yeah, that's that. Hope you guys enjoyed the stuff. Feel free to come back again. Until then, goodbye.